This is Sandy Shores. For most GTA players, this place is just a random desert town in the center of southern San Andreas, or the location where Trevor Phillips resided in. But behind that level of ignorance lies an incredibly diverse and profound story of a small city with a rather glorious past. This raises the obvious question that why is Sandy Shores nowadays so poorly developed compared to its neighbor Los Santos? What led to Sandy Shores going from the best vacation spot in the western United States in the 1960s to a completely abandoned and depressing town in the 2010s? And in which direction is the town moving now in 2025? Well, for all of these questions and many more, we finally have the answers in this documentary. To get a clear overview of the story of this actually quite a magnificent town, it is best to start from the very beginning. Sandy Shores was founded in early 20th century as mainly a fishing village off the coast of the accidentally man-made Alamo Sea. The establishment of the town has a lot to do with the United States expansion westward at the time. The land where Sandy Shores lies today was once part of US's current southern neighbor Mexico, but it was during the Mexican-American War that the United States seized the land from them and ultimately formed the San Andreas state out of this area. Sandy Shores, with the Grand Sonora Desert, was for the longest period quite a stereotypical American Wild West region, with constant cowboy shootouts in the middle of the desert, bars in small villages in the middle of nowhere, you know, the stuff you nowadays see in the movies. In 1910, a railway connection was also created between Los Santos and the Alamo Sea area, which was one of the main factors in giving the area a chance to start developing at an increasing speed. Unfortunately, the opportunities were at first cut short by the US's focus shifting towards the First World War in 1916. After that, in late 1920s and early 1930s came the Great Depression, which cut short any funds and finances that should have been turned towards developing the Alamo Sea area. And then yet again in the early 1940s, with the US entering yet another world war, the focus was shifted elsewhere. It was only after the Second World War that the small town off the coast of the biggest lake in San Andreas, for some reason called the Sea, was starting to be developed to an actual Western world town. From 1948 onwards, the town turned its head towards becoming the largest vacation spot in the western United States, and oh boy did it turn out great. By the 1950s, it was one of the most popular vacation spots for the people of the US, with its developed tourism infrastructure, the classical American-styled hotels, long beaches alongside the coast of the Alamo. All of it really felt like a paradise. The great boom continued in the 1960s, with even more people visiting but also moving to the Sandy Shores area. It was at this time that there was also an airfield built for the furthermore popularization of the hot and new tourist location. The biggest US airline companies in the 1960s, like Fly US, Los Santos Air and San Fierro Air, started their flights to Sandy Shores. People were flown in from not only the San Andreas big cities of Los Santos and San Fierro, but also from the likes of Liberty City, Vice City and Carcer City. Sandy Shores' relative proximity to Los Santos, the literal second biggest city in America, really made it the kind of a best located vacation spot. The town was close enough for the residents of Los Santos itself to come and spend their holidays in, but as well as all the tourists that would come to visit Los Santos itself would often also take the hour-and-a-half drive to come and take a look at the best holiday spot just outside of the big city. But taking all of this glorious past and incredible stories into account, the question arises that, well, what the heck happened to this town? Because the only version of the town that we can see is this abandoned, poverty-stricken and quite repulsive of a town. Well, like its glorious rise, the downfall has also also a lot to do with the Alamo Sea. You see, as Sandy Shores had been this popular spot throughout the 1950s and the 1960s, it also started interesting many scientists of the country. And particularly interesting for them was the question that why was the water of the sea so salty? Usually inland water bodies like lakes, rivers and ponds are a lot less salty than the sea or ocean water surrounding that. But this wasn't the case with the Alamo Sea. What scientists found out was that due to human involvement in the water and river infrastructure of the Alamo Sea and its surrounding area, the rising salt percentage in the water started to destroy the marine life of the lake, possibly killing 97% of all the fish in there. Furthermore, scientists came to a conclusion that due to a change in the ecological system of the area, it might actually be dangerous for humans to swim in the water. The seafloor created a lot of unhealthy chemicals that ultimately made the safety of the water very questionable. And with that, in the 1970s, the emigration from the area started. 95% of the population basically ran off, to the point where there was around 5,000 people left in the 1990s and only 3,000 people living in the town in 2013. The glory days of the best tourism spot in the US had run out. People had no job opportunities in the area. Real estate in the town lost its value, and all of that ultimately led to an economic downfall of Sandy Shores. But there was one man that decided to go a completely opposite direction to most of the town's population. Somewhere in the 2000s, after a failed bank heist of North Yankton, Trevor Phillips decided to relocate to this small little town. You see, while most of the population of the town had run off with the decades, it were the realest and most attached people of the area that decided to stay in Sandy Shores. That created this very unique, almost like a Wild West of the 21st century type of atmosphere that Trevor Phillips so much enjoyed. He himself called Sandy Shores to be quote-unquote off the grid and have real people living there, contradicting the fakeness of Los Santos.
Think about it. Where you live, Sandy Shore. I'm sorry there ain't a place nearby for you to get your colonics.
Right, but why are you out here?
It's off the grid. We're away from it all. It's somewhere real and authentic. This is America! And real people ain't been priced out yet.
Yeah, well, what if it gets gentrified?
Then I'll move. I tell you what, Mikey, I can tell why you like Vinewood so much.
Oh, I know. It's fantastic, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. I'm just sort of happy here, even when I'm also really depressed.
No! Sugar tits, you like it because it's just like you. Plastic and fake. The world champion of phoniness has come to the world capital of fakeness. And what a surprise! You fit right in.
And so, with the 2013 action, Sandy Shores really gained itself a new image. Yes, perhaps the image was now not as glamorous as in the 1960s, and yes, most of the residents are still living in complete poverty, but at least this poor town has its own very unique soul. In 2013, we saw that there are many different groups still actually being active in town. For example, Sandy Shores is still a very prominent area for the Lost MC, that even has their own trailer park on the Alamo Sea coast. There are also very active bars and pubs on the outskirts of the town that we visited with Trevor in 2013. And even the airfield is still in use by many different gangs. Trevor even made his own moves in the town, opening his own white powder labs and taking his businesses even international, including Chinese investors.
Yes, Mr. Chang, pleasure to meet you.
No, I am Mr. Chang's humble translator. Mr. Chang now.
我操他妈的，真是爽翻了 ！You all speak Spanish, speak it to each other.
Mr. Tao Chung is pleased to meet your acquaintance.
Oh yeah, he seems it.
Sandy Shores has really redefined of what it means to be a forgotten town. Just because it is a poor area doesn't mean it doesn't have activity. You just have to approach it from a different angle. The town also has to this day some of the more common store chains of the US, like the 24/7 food shops and the ammunition gun stores. But from here, what is the next step for the town? Which direction should the town be moving to? The 2010s and 2020s action have also brought the town further activity. Our online character has set up different illegal businesses like the MC factories, gun running bunkers, or even facilities into the area. And whilst being illegal, they still provide jobs for the people of Sandy Shores. The notorious Grand Senora Desert Airfield has also been very active landing ground for many different operations. It has been used by the agents of the IAA.
Go to work. EMP comes out of the jet, goes back into the 4x4. We use the jet to make some money, destabilize an oil state, and we prep the insurgent to go back into the Merryweather fleet.
The FIB.
By the way, next time you're getting wet. Oh, but there won't be a next time, will there, Davey? There never is.
I'll do my best for you. I always try.
Yeah, well, maybe this time we'll get lucky.
And yet again by our online character. In more recent times, it seems like Trevor Phillips has actually moved out of Sandy Shores and quite unexpectedly gone to Vinewood, as stated by Ron in 2017.
That Trev, my best friend, he's supposed to protect me forever, and he goes all Vinewood on me. He's too important for Ron now. He's a guru. He's a lifestyle coach. I don't know what he is. I bet he's got abs.
This is furthermore suggested in 2022 in the Fooligans update, where the old Trevor Phillips Industries facilities like the Snow Lab has been taken over by the newly formed Fooligans gang.
I gotta go tell some folks what's what. Yeah, I've been waiting for something like this to happen since Trevor took off.
And finally now, in early 2025, with the reconnection of Trevor's partner Oscar Guzman, we got even more confirmation about Trevor leaving the town.
You must be the new owner, huh? You know, seeing your name on the deed was a relief. The last owner of this place was, you know. Go on.
But this doesn't mean that the town is in a worse spot. The area still has many active personnel like Ron Jakovsky, Oscar Guzman, as well as the Fooligans. The town just needs to find an output for all of its possible abilities. I mean, after all, Sandy Shores is connecting the inner land highways of southern San Andreas with the Pacific coast and the Fort Zancudo area, whilst also having its own airfields and even hotels. But what do you guys think? How could Sandy Shores become a more developed town with the coming years and decades? Are they moving in the right direction, or do you think that it is a lost cause? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, that is it for this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to also check out my other documentaries about the GTA universe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.